I am Johnny Massacre and welcome to the Johnny Massacre Show. This is the Monday Night Massacre. On tonight's show, somebody confronted me for not wearing a mask in public. This is what happened. Who's fucking with me? Give me a hell yeah! So yeah, someone came up to me in public and started going mad and shouting at me because I wasn't wearing a mask. This isn't my first experience with a foreigner in Japan who was pissed off that I wasn't wearing a mask. I was on the subway about 2 months ago or something, and this guy tutted and walked off when I stood next to him without wearing a mask. What happened then? Well, I followed the guy, got off at the same stop and started attacking him, and he kind of got scared and ran away. So this time though, the guy was much less passive. He was in my face. I thought I heard someone muttering and tutting in my peripheral, but then I don't really entertain automatic thoughts because 99 times out of 100 it's nothing, and I thought, nah, it's nothing. But then he came up to me, put his finger in my face, and he said, "Why aren't you wearing a mask? You are dangerous." Shouted at me in public, in the fucking supermarket. So I was quite shocked, and I just said, I kind of reverted from my posh British voice and thought back to my drum and bass days, raving and shit, getting into all kinds of trouble. And I said to him, "You fucking... Get your fucking finger out my face, you pussy. No one fucking talks to me like that, you little cunt. You think you can tell me what to do? I'll fucking tell you what to do, you pussy. Go fuck yourself." So it was kind of regressing into that. And staff members therefore came over, Japanese people going, "Sumimasen, sumimasen," trying to calm us down. And the guy had the audacity to say, "Not only am I dangerous, but I bring a shame on Japan because I'm a foreigner coming over here. Everyone's wearing a mask and I don't wear one." Yes, I am bringing shame on Japan when he comes up to me and starts shouting and entertaining the stereotype of the angry, loud, shouting foreigner. Also, the irony is not lost on me that some Westerner is going to come over to Japan and say he's all about equality when really he thinks he can speak for the whole of Japan and represents all the Japanese people and how they think. This is what I'm guessing. This guy was a leftist. I don't want to judge, but his behavior was pretty much like a radical leftist. And they always talk about equality and stuff. The same people who change Latino and Latina to Latinx and whatever. And they try to masquerade as your friend, but actually they want to dominate and control entire groups of people. So he's speaking on the whole of Japan, on behalf of Japan, saying I bring shame on them. And the irony of that was not lost on me. But anyways, so then we were in neighbouring aisles buying our groceries, and he went off somewhere and started to get afraid because I was going mucking fentanyl, bruv. And I wasn't leaving it at that. So I brought my shopping basket over to him and plonked it down next to him. And he goes, no, you're dangerous, you're dangerous. I thought, man, is there anything COVID cannot be used as an excuse for? Radical spending bills, locking people in their houses, surveilling the populace, putting through vaccine passports, quasi-communism, and you can even go up to someone and start shit and point your finger in their face and then call them dangerous. This is how you know someone's a tyrant, is when they attack you and then call you the attacker. They always do it. Putin attacking Ukraine, getting in Ukraine's face, like this guy got in my face, and then calling Ukraine dangerous. Because of all the Nazis over there. And you got Trudeau, who took away the human rights of honest truckers who brought him his goods so he could survive. And when they couldn't feed their families, he called them white supremacists and dangerous. And in the same manner, this guy called me dangerous as well. And I thought, if the mask is so fucking awesome, and it must be because he's freaking out that I'm not wearing one, why is he so afraid of me when he's wearing the mask? And presumably this guy's triple vaccinated, so he can't do anymore. So where does this go? Where does this end? You have all the vaccines you want, you got the masks, we're just going to do this forever. He actually said that because of people like me, this disease is still around. Now, I've heard this fucking argument before, which is completely insane, because in the case of Japan, where we're having this disagreement, they have a 99.9% mask compliance. You go on the train and you never see anyone without a mask. And even Alzheimer's Biden admitted you need 70% of people to get vaccinated and basically get infected. He didn't say that, but of course he wouldn't, in order to reach herd immunity. So with 99% of people wearing a mask, the infection rates exploded recently to higher rates than ever, like totally destroying his argument. So he kept trying to run away, and I wasn't having it. I just was following this guy because he hurt my pride a bit. I just come out of the gym from kickboxing. I know I look like your friendly neighborhood punk, But I do have the hardest punch in the gym out of 300 people. Literally, the owner said it, who's ex-UFC, you know, the UFC you see on TV. He was in there. He said, I've got the hardest punch in the gym, even out of the professionals there. And so he hurt my pride a bit. I came out that mode, right? Like, I've got a really strong punch, and this fucking cunt's like telling me put on a mask. So I kept following him. And I shouldn't have, really, with hindsight, right? Because, yeah, I said what I had to say to him, and I felt I put him down and defended myself perfectly. And at that point, yeah, I could just leave it, because why focus your energy on someone negative where you could focus that energy on something positive? You're literally wasting that energy that could otherwise be spent on something improving your life. And then actually he kind of gets what he wants, because the guy was getting afraid and he said, I'm going to call the police. So just to recap, I'm in the supermarket, random guy comes up to me, puts his finger in my face and is literally shouting at me so everyone can hear us, and the store staff come over and tell us to quieten down. And then when I defend myself, the guy calls me dangerous and says he's going to call the police. This reminds me of so much woke stuff, where woke people do crazy stuff like ruin a movie, like, I don't know, take your fucking pick, a Ghostbusters or shit like that, Star Wars. And then when we go, like, we defend our, like, what we love or what we stand for, say, what are you doing? They're like, oh, you're dangerous, you're a piece of shit. What? For me, it's almost as if the content of what these people say is irrelevant. They're just angry, miserable people who think masking or being woke or whatever is a substitute for personality. It's like a cult, and you've got to be part of the cult, and they actively go out to seek cult members, and anyone who's not part of the cult must be destroyed. That's what it comes across as. And unfortunately, by going a bit too far and then starting to get aggressive and seeing red, I actually gave this guy the opportunity to say he's going to call the cops. And at that point, I thought, you know what? This time I'm going to do something different. Remember at the beginning of this video, I told you about another guy before, a couple of months before, on the train, tutted at me, and I shouted at him and whatever. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try to change this into a positive. And I have no reason to apologize to this guy. He should be apologizing to me. I've got literally nothing to apologize for, other than the fact that he was never physically threatening to me, and I didn't threaten him physically, but I was hyper aggressive towards him, and that was probably disproportional to just wagging a finger in my face. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna lie and say something that I totally don't believe in, just to kind of make him feel understood, and try to actually, even though it seems nearly impossible, try to understand where he's coming from and try to make a net positive. I thought that would be amazing if I can do that. And if I can't, then at least I fucking tried. And otherwise, what's the point? You know, if I can't, that means he actually didn't want to achieve something good. Because he wasn't willing to listen. If he was that serious about it, he actually was just a miserable dude and was just, I don't know, his neuroses were manifesting in the form of his meltdown. So I said, okay, look, mate, it was like in Ghostbusters 2, right? At the end of the movie where they're covered in the slime and then you have to stop, right? The slime, the psychokinetic slime is making them angry, and they say, wait, take off the suit, take off the slime. They take it off, and then they realize that the anger had consumed them, and they nearly killed each other. And in the same way, I took off the resentment. I took off and threw away all the anger and adrenaline like some kind of unwanted garment. And I said, mate, look what they've done to us. This is what they want. It's like, it's unvaccinated versus vaccinated. It's unmasked versus masked. It's like whatever, but it's look what they've done to us, mate. You know, we've all had a shitty time through this for whatever reason, and at least we have that in common. And look, you have your studies, I've read my information. I've literally looked at neighboring counties in California with mask mandates and without mask mandates with the same infection rate. Sweden had no lockdowns, no masking laws at all, fared much better than most countries, even neighboring countries. So can't we just agree to disagree? And look, you know, we're fellow human beings here. That's literally what I said to the guy. And it calmed him down a little bit, and he tried to say something more to me, but he just wasn't having it, and he walked off. So there you go. Someone came up to me in public for not wearing a mask and had a go at me. I went into a rage, and then at the end I tried to learn something, and I tried to reason with them somehow to see if I could fish out a positive. I apologized for swearing at him and calling him a cunt, even though I feel it's justified. I was defending myself. I lied because, okay, my pride was hurt, but I'm not a narcissist. I don't have to I don't have to like fucking be right all the time or whatever. If it's gonna make this guy calm down, like what does it even mean? It doesn't mean anything. So I apologize for swearing, even though this guy attacked me, and it still didn't calm him down enough in order to make anything positive out of this at all. But I got something positive out of it, and I guess I learned that in a situation like that, it's better to keep your cool, because imagine if you get so pissed off you hit someone like that, then you end up going to jail. That means someone with issues has infected you and basically dragged you down to their level. And what have you gained from that? You can't go around reacting every time some asshole says something to you. If you do, you'll spend all your time focusing on negative stuff and not positive. If I could change something, well, I can't. I did what I did. But in future, I try to stay more calm and try to reason very rationally with someone. Say, look, man, you're shouting at me in public. I haven't done anything to you. Can we just discuss this calmly? If you start like that, perhaps, and maybe compliment the guy and like say something nice about him and just be the bigger man, perhaps there's a way to save it. But definitely getting angry and shit is not going to help when people are like that in public. If people are scared and they have issues, you're only just going to ramp up the tension. So unless you actually feel threatened, in which case you need to defend yourself, in such a situation I'd say be calm and try not to give in to the anger. Try not to be emotive, even though all your kind of like primal signals are like screaming at you to just fight. Just try to be cool with it, and just try to not lose your temper, quite simply. Because if I hadn't done that, then maybe I would have been able to at least make something positive out of it, but I'll never know, because I mean, it's totally the guy's fault for starting off the tempo like that. But by me adding more fuel on the fire and not being the bigger man, I potentially could have made a bad situation even worse. So there you go. There's my story. I'm Johnny Massacre, and if you're just joining us, we're discussing random people telling me to put on a mask. Am I going to do it? No. But if you've been watching from the beginning, stop your grinning and drop your linen, donate some cash, and let's keep winning. Streamlabs.com/Johnny Massacre. The more you donate, the more of me you're going to get. We've made $195. We've got a $1,500 target, and we've only got 17 days to go. It is my birthday this month, so please give generously. I would much appreciate that. So there you go. That's my story. I hope you liked it. A little bit of a different Johnny Massacre show for you today. There's always a few things that I want to say and that I know I've forgotten, and it will come back to me later. But I do like to ad-lib. I don't want to read from the script too much because it's a little bit robotic when I do that. So yeah. I've been Johnny Massacre. I tell you what, mates, you better be back for the next episode. Otherwise, I will be coming round your house. Please make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because that is what all those other cunts tell you to do. Layers.